us today to celebrate the 1010 Shopping Festival. We're now in our third year, and this festival is really about giving back to charity, helping consumers find phenomenal deals, and also with the founder we're going to talk to today, really discover new brands, new products, and new ways of shopping. So I'd like to invite Mitali Saxena to and really join me on stage here. And can you talk a little bit about, what was your inspiration for kind of getting us where we are today? And I know there's a long backstory, so maybe tell us a little bit about that as well.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me here, Deborah, and everyone who's listening in. Fashom is a styling platform. We use machine learning algorithms to find clothes for women based on their body shape. And the problem or the mission behind it is it started off as an app where we wanted to promote body positivity. So my mission after I left my full-time career was to promote self-love and body positivity in women. One thing led to another, and I ordered some clothing boxes in Miami, and they sent me clothes like corduroy pants and cardigans, which was totally inappropriate for my lifestyle and my style. So I figured that, there's a need in the market where people need to understand not just style, but also like what looks best on their body shape. Instead of fitting women into clothes, we need to make sure that women feel confident in what they're wearing. And that was the mission behind Fashom. And we use algorithms to find the right size and fit, but we actually have real human stylists who look at the profiles and understand what they need, giving that human touch when it comes to styling women. Deborah, sorry, you're on mute.
Thank you, as I have dogs barking in the background. As we think about kind of what you learned from your journey, and I do think I was on the board of a charity called Dignity You Wear, and it was about how people do get their dignity through the clothes they wear, and it really had a big impact on me. So what you're saying really does ring very true. How have you kind of taken this mission-driven organization and started to monetize it and really help people?
Sure. So like I said, so women come on there and they fill out a questionnaire. We're very specific about things because, as you would know, a lot of women, going through changes in their body, they don't feel as confident as, size 0 models to reveal, hey, I'm so-and-so size, and they want to feel good. They don't have that, if they're busy moms, they don't have enough time to go and research and figure out what looks good on them. They want to be, they want to look put together. So our solution is basically to help these women who are going through changes in their body, and we understand their body shapes based on certain data points that we've collected from them and the algorithms that we run. Plus, when a woman is looking into a woman's profile, i.e. a stylist lady who's looking into you, she'll understand, okay, most of our stylists are, middle-aged moms. So they completely get what they're saying. So if, for example, if they have a request saying, hey, I'm a new mom, I need clothes that, that can help with nursing. So we want to make sure that we provide something that's not hugging and tight, for example. So things like that. And how do women take advantage of a platform is just, it's saving them time. We also, make sure that it's budget friendly. We don't charge exorbitant amounts of money for the clothes that we're selling. And I know we're going to get into this in a later discussion about sale boxes that we're doing for excess. But even without the sale, our boxes were very reasonably priced. We gave like a 30% discount for keeping all 5 clothes. So giving them a whole outfit is what we focused on, and making sure that it fits what they're, not just their lifestyle, but also their size and fit, like how their body shape looks like currently and how we can help them look the best.
Well, they say just kind of as it were in life, but the whole 80-20 rule, right? We wear 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And if you can help people find more of those, kind of items that, they love, that fit well. I mean, I always call them like, your best friends, right? Those are the ones that, you're going to see a lot in your closet. And I think that it's really incredibly important, not only from a fit, style, color, and just to be confident that this is something that, you're going to look your best in and really feel your best, I think is really critical. So I think it's great in terms of what you've created. Can you talk about how, like the idea around, I mean, the subscription, we've written tons at Coresight around subscription boxes. It's something I just always felt this idea around, whether it's a gift that somebody's giving you or a gift to yourself, right? This whole kind of surprise and delight, I think it's intangible. I think how many like oodles of happiness that brings.
Right.
And so can you talk a little bit about how you thought about kind of getting from this awareness of what's missing in the market to doing the boxes?
Sure. So it was my personal story to begin with, where I, received sweaters in Miami in the month of July. And I was actually building another startup and I was really busy and I was hoping that, I could get a box of clothing that would actually fit my style and routine, but it didn't. So definitely I'm like the first use case scenario. The next step in my journey was actually influencers. So if you look for us on YouTube, you'll see over 1,000 videos of moms doing some unboxing videos. And initially, when we first even did the beta version of a platform, I communicated with these influencers because I thought they knew their audiences really well. And they were themselves big time consumers of the whole clothing subscription box genre. So they were my case studies. And I mean, I would call them and find out what's missing, how can we help? And, things that came out were, hey, people need to see a preview so that they can pick what they want instead of just getting a surprise box. Some women love that. Some people like the portion where they have some control. It's not like they're scrolling through tons of pages, but they're selecting 5 out of 10 pieces, for example. Someone might say, hey, I forgot to mention that I don't like bootcut jeans, and there's a bootcut jean, so they might not select that and select skinny jeans, for example. So that was it. And in the beginning, we did a lot of follow-ups, and even to date, we actually love getting feedback from all our customers, even though we've grown. But feedback from consumers is the best thing how you can grow. You can think of what might be the best solution out there, but it might not be the best for people. So knowing what people want was always our mission, and we keep improving on of that.
That's really interesting. And have you found that you've created a community? How do people discover you? Or are you finding that a lot of it's word of mouth? Maybe you can just dive into that a little bit.
Sure. We actually did not pay for paid advertisements up until now. We've grown organically.
Wow.
Yeah. We worked with a few influencers, but not like completely paid, to be honest. Most of them have been organic. Like I said, all these moms who do unboxing videos. And it's all about who love us. We make sure that our customer support is, supporting in whatever way we can. And that is another thing I would mention, that good customer support takes you a long way. Like you can't piss people off when you're starting off or anytime in that journey, because you don't know what this person is going to say to whom in which party. So keeping that going, and we've really worked on our brand pillars and making sure that even during a communication with emails, if anyone's mad at us, how can we resolve our best, foot forward? If this person is new or has been with us, doesn't matter, we treat them equally.
That's very helpful. And, right now, everybody's looking for, as we're celebrating 10/10 today, people are looking for great deals. And there's been a lot out there about excess inventory. Can you help us connect those dots?
Sure. So my background, I just mentioned, I'm an engineer. So a lot of my company data is black and white. I mean, the company runs on a lot of black and white information. Either it's going or it's not going. So right from the start, I actually built a lot of prediction models. I started working on data, even though we didn't have enough data to start with. But over the years, we collected enough information to build good accuracy in these prediction models. So one of the things that we built is actual inventory prediction. So based on seasonality, style, age group, demographic, and this is only America, we don't do outside of America, we can predict and say, hey, month of October, we need, I'm just bringing it as example, navy tops for people in the Northeast, V-neck navy tops for people in the Northeast. So, and then we also are able to predict how much quantity we need. Like, do we need to get more XLs versus more smalls? And this is the other thing in the industry I've noticed. You know how the packs come, they come as small, medium, large, but sometimes it's 3-to-1. And unless you're doing your own manufacturing where you can decide on the sizing, you end up with a lot of smalls and mediums because majority of the audience is large XLs. So again, going back to the prediction models, we were able to figure out what we can how we can predict the most, because sustainability is also something that I've looked into from the start. We do only vegan products. We want to make sure we're not using animal products in our clothing. And the other thing about excess inventory, we started actually, this was our own approach, but we got interest from retailers. So last month was the first month we started doing sale boxes, because we're like, hey, we have a lot of inventory sitting, and how do we make it like a better experience and just test out another market, see if this works. And it's been doing really good. Like we have had a huge growth or demand and growth in the last few weeks. So our sale boxes are a flat rate with no returns. So they're getting a really good deal. We do it for $95 flat rate. So you're almost like at $20 a piece. Yes, maybe one piece might not fit you or it's not your liking. You donate it to a charity. You're not losing too much while you're getting a very good deal on everything else. So once we started doing that, a lot of our partners, retail partners, started approaching us and saying, hey, can we give you our excess inventory? And you can, instead of liquidating or going into landfills, we can actually sell it to people who would enjoy their clothing. It's not bad clothing. It's not defective. It's just excess of inventory that's come through. I mean, COVID had an own impact, right? There were supply chain issues. Some people ended up with more inventory. Some people ended up with no inventory. So yeah, we're working with some retailers to figure out if we can do these curated sale boxes for other retail brands as well.
Well, like you said, I mean, I think a great example is just around sizing, right?
Yeah.
So even if they have the right, kind of color and fit, right, they may not have it in the right size. And so moving that around can be very expensive. So let's say if we were to order a box today, what might come in one of the boxes?
Ideally, we would give them, like in the fall, you would have one pair of bottoms, couple of tops, cardigan, maybe an accessory like earrings. We try and carry more sustainable, natural fiber if possible. Again, it depends on the size and the style that they require. And one thing that we never forced on algorithms is their request. So the stylists are mandatorily, they have to read what the person wants. We don't like to use NLP on that, because women are very descriptive. They'd say, hey, this, my shoulders are too big, or, I don't like to carry weight around my stomach. And as much as technology can, put that into buckets, it's much easier for a human to understand what they're trying to say than for a machine to tell them.
Actually a very good point. And, with it being so important this holiday season for people to save, right? We've seen the, kind of holiday really back up much earlier with really sales starting at the very beginning of October. And, this event seems to really have catapulted a lot of people into shopping for holiday. What are you seeing as ways that people can save this holiday season? What's new? And any other kind of tips and tricks that you're seeing in terms of, right, the consumer's facing, high inflation and job uncertainty and whatnot. What advice do you have?
Sure. I think it's a long haul. Like sales have already started. We are doing one. There's a lot of, retailers who are doing it already. It starts from October all the way to Christmas. But what's important as a consumer is, making sure you stick to the list. Like create a list right now, things that you actually, there's must-haves and there's, it's nice to have. So create those must-haves because you want to make sure that you're gifting people, or that whether it's for yourself or for someone else, just creating that list and sticking to it and set a budget. Like, hey, this is my budget for the holidays. This is what I want to spend. It's very tempting. It's like self-love in certain ways to go shop for yourself. So I guess it's a lot of willpower to stick to your budget and things that you need that people should really focus on if they're, trying to stay under the current circumstances.
That makes a lot of sense. And then one of the other things I thought was very interesting about the subscription boxes is, right, we see return rates on apparel, footwear, and accessories in excess of 40% in the United States. And right, that creates all kinds of supply chain issues, sustainability, right? Because if the item is returned and it's no longer being sold in stores, right, what's the retailer to do? Can you talk about how you came up with that idea that, it's kind of like you get what you get and you don't get upset?
Sure. It was the same thing. Like we started seeing returns, and I think the returns fluctuated because of whatever was happening in the market. So we said, okay, why don't we figure out a way where it's, not breaking a bank, but also helping them in a way that it's, we don't want things to donation is good, but we don't know, especially for big retailers, is it going in landfills? Where is its excess inventory going? So we wanted to test out a model where people get, but we don't force them. So we still follow the request that they want. Say if they, like I was saying, they put in the request and a stylist reads it. So we never force things on them. So if they're saying, hey, I don't want sweaters, we're not going to send them a sweater. We'll send them, short sleeve tops or whatever they've asked for. So from a consumer standpoint, they're still getting the value out of it. And, they're saving time. They're now saving a lot of money because if you were to go and shop online or in a store, you're looking at retail. There's pages you have to scroll through. You have to drive somewhere. And a lot of our customers actually live very far from malls. So they have to drive a few, sometimes an hour to even get to a nice mall, saving them time, gas money, all of that. You're getting a good deal. I mean, $95 for 5 pieces of clothing that includes bottoms. And I'm talking about branded stuff here. I think it's a pretty good deal. And we made it work. Again, this is a new model we're testing out with our inventory and, retailers. We're making sure that no one's going negative, but at the same time, it's an advantage to our customers as well. They feel good about, spending $100, but they've got a whole outfit or 2 outfits out of it.
And, much of what we're doing with 1010 is a charity give back to 3 different charities: Goodwill, New York Stem Cell Foundation, and to Retailers United. I believe that there's also a charitable element to Fashom. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm a fur mom. I have a dog. I don't have human kids, but I have a dog child. That was probably my motivation. I did have a charity before I started Fashom, but for some reason, my connection with animals grew stronger after I became a fur mom. So per box, we donate $1 to a rescue charity in New York. It's called Second Chance Rescue New York, and it saves stray animals. Nice. And I went through a process, Deborah. Because of this mission, I wanted to make sure that it's not going in organizational costs. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't choose something locally, because I went through all the documentation. And this was one charity I saw that was giving almost 90-95% to actual animals in need.
Yeah, and as we've read recently, there's a huge need for this right now. Yeah. And so I think that, all of us should feel very good about purchasing these boxes and just kind of the give back. So as we conclude, maybe just, kind of what's your outlook for holiday and for 23? What's going to be new for you and how can we support you?
Awesome. Well, thank you for, first of all, having me on this talk. Supporting, I think, if people are interested, go and buy Fashom boxes, $95. It's a very good deal. I'm doing mine. I almost get every 2 weeks because I love it. I love the fact that it just shows up and my stylist knows me, obviously, because I know them personally. But even if they don't know you, you build a relationship. It almost feels like a lot of women, they're at home, they're bored. It's something exciting to look forward to without, like I said, without breaking your bank. $95 you can afford to get once a month or once in 3 months, even if you want. And then not worrying about, hey, if I get a box from Macy's, am I going to fit into these clothes? I don't know. They look good on the model. They look good on the website, but I don't know how it's going to look good on you. So someone else is taking that job from you. And I think that's a very good deal. And I would love to help support however I can for charities and making sure women feel best in their bodies. That's my mission and our company's mission, our team's mission. Everyone who is associated with Fashom is very passionate about making that impact on body confidence. So I hope Fashom can do that on a bigger, larger scale in 23.
I think that's great. One last question is, you're obviously building a tremendous community. Can you talk about, I think you have a program where there's a referral element as well?
Yes. So if you refer a friend, you get $10 off. So from 95, you're at 85.
Nice.
I think even one denim may cost you $85, but we're giving you 5 things for that. It's a very good deal.
That's great. I mean, I love it. You're mission driven. I really love the story in terms of how the company came together. I'm all for, kind of the sustainable element with regards to your return policy. And I really think this, we all need this community right now. And I think it's great. And thank you for joining us. We look forward to watching your success and however we can help here. Thank you. And have a great week.
Thank you for having me on it. Thanks.
Thanks. Take care.
You too.